welcome back. Fubar here. And today with me is 44 Mag. Say hello, Mag.
What is good, friends, and welcome back. Thanks for watching, everyone.
So today we got a lot to unpack, a very little bit of time. There was a lot we just received from Warpath about Rome. We got the face-to-face developer video, and we're going to be doing our kind of like reaction to it, tell you guys what we hope and what we noticed throughout this video as we go. So starting off, the major theme of Rome is Air Force. We're going to be able to select one of 3 units to field out into the game. But there is some things you need to know about these units before you select. First things first, when you select a unit, you have 2 free swaps right off the gate. So that way, if you select the wrong unit, or you don't like the unit, or you just want to try something else, you can do that. So the first unit that we're going to talk about is the Vortex. It is the Vanguard Fighter. The Vanguard Fighter is able to attack up to 3 units at any given time. Now, it's probably going to, in my opinion, the one I'm going to field because it looks the most useful, but I do not like the unit model myself. What do you think about the unit model, Mag?
My reaction to those units, from far, they look interesting. From up close, it's kind of a mixed bag. I mean, the Vanguard looks like the Eurofighter Typhoon, which makes sense. It's a European fighter. The color scheme is all right, I guess. My gripe is more about the Martyr's Watch fight. I really don't like it, but as far as the Vanguard, I think it's all right. I think for me it looks correct for the time period. As you know, those units, they're supposed to be an upgrade, I guess, from your current Air Force, so having modern units that are recent makes sense to me. But I'm gonna let you go ahead with the rest of the 2 camps, and I'm gonna comment on those.
So the next unit we're going to talk about is I believe it's called Whisper Wind. It is the Martyr fighter plane, and it's very odd looking, but its goal is to draw all the aggro from any air force in the area onto itself. So all enemy fighter planes or AI fighter planes will be attacking you. It's meant to soak damage and jam targets, but in the video we can't really tell if it's actually jamming anything. So therefore, go ahead, Mag. Tell us your thoughts on the unit model, because I don't like it.
I like everything except the radar dome that doesn't have any business on this fighter. This fighter looks like the recent stealth fighter from the Chinese, from China.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, with a kind of a camo pattern from Russia. So the level 1 looks cool. Level 2, level 3 looks awesome with the camouflage. But like I said, I mean, this I don't think I like it. Without it would be awesome. It's all right. I mean, but also another recent fighter that makes sense to me. So let's go with the last camp.
Now, the last camp is the Liberty, and we're going to be getting I can't really pronounce his name. It starts with a T. It's like Tanaric, but it is a Liberty bomber, and it has a very similar attack pattern as the Liberty bomber, but with some unique twists. It actually follows target, just like the Vanguard and Martyr, and also, when it hits its main intended target, any units around it, like the Liberty bomber, will also be affected, but they'll also get this white ring around them showing an EMP pulse on them that has weakened them. We don't know if it's reducing the blast damage resistance or the damage resistance of these units, but it does not fully stun those units, just the one said unit it actually hits. I was going to say, what is your thoughts on this unit model?
Well, it is weird that out of the 3 camps, we have 2 fighters and Liberty is a bomber. It's kind of weird to me, but at least the bomber is an actual model of a bomber, which is the F-117. However, the F-117 is a 30 years old technology. I would have expect maybe a fighter like a F-35 to go along with the same team. As for the color scheme, the level 1 looks all right. Level 2 and level 3 looks like it's out of the Thunderbird team, which I don't know. I'm more like a realistic guy. I prefer something that is close to reality. Not sure if it's the right word to say that, but it's a stealth bomber that should look like a stealth bomber. But I'm nitpicking here. It's only cosmetic. It doesn't really matter. But I would just hope for maybe something that looks more stealthy and maybe something more modern.
Yes, I agree. Now, we're going to cover a couple things about these units you need to know right away that you may not have noticed if you already watched the video. But if you haven't watched the video, we'll have it linked in our video description below. So, one, when you select these units, they all start at level 1 and you have to level them up. Where you're going to assume that these take normal gears and normal ammunition, so you're going to have to just reset your primary fighter or bomber to dump into these units. The next thing is that you can equip officers on these. So if you don't have Air Force officers, you kind of SOL. But if you have sitting on a stockpile of statues, now is the time to invest in some Air Force officers before this map comes out.
Right.
Which is predicted to drop between December and January of 2024. So keep that in mind. Start working on your Air Force officers if you do not have any. If you do, start working on your pairings and preparing them for the battlefield.
Well said. I don't want to be the guy raining on your parade. I know that back in the days when Lilith announced Caro, they really hyped this city, they really hyped this event with awesome feature that we've never seen before, which is amazing. However, the guinea pig, which was everyone, kind of discover a few quirks. I'm not gonna say defect or bugs, but a few quirks that got polished later on the next season, if I can say. So hopefully they did their research and development correctly or completely, so we don't have any bad surprise when we play the game. So everybody have a fair chance to compete. There's no like a stronger side. You know what I mean?
So next we're going to go on to the augmentations, and I'm going to give this over to Mag.
Those 3 airplanes will be given to you. You won't have to pay a dime for it. So everybody will have the chance to pick a unit and change your mind free of charge, which is great from Warpath. And those upgrades are also comes from your inventory. However, if you want to augment those units, there will be a new currency which is called the Kalium. I'm not sure if I pronounced this correctly. The Kalium, if the Kalium is like the desert oil from Caro. It would be a currency or a feature in the game that you can obtain for free by mining it or collecting it. But if you want to accelerate or expedite the process, I'm pretty sure there will be a pay to win feature so you can augment your units faster and gain the advantage over the enemy. Not exactly sure how it will work, but it's the mechanic. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be as simple as collecting it, and you will have probably have a refinery or some sort of factory to process that material and convert this into upgrade, right? So expect this feature to be available for Rome, and for all your pay to win players, maybe save a few dollars just in case you want to gain the advantage over the enemy.
One thing we can note about this from the face-to-face developers video about the augmentation system that is unique is that you can actually upgrade your standard Air Force. So if you want to use what you already have, because you already have enough Air Force refined components, bullets, gears to do that with your exclusive unit, you may do so, and you can also upgrade and augment your standard Air Force. You're allowed to augment up to 120 points within this system. We do not know what the skills do in each system yet, but we're excited to find out when it comes out. All right, on to the Kalium. Now, we do know that you're going to have a refinery there that you're going to be able to collect them. We also know you can get calcium from the missions provided, like those little subset missions that show up every like 3 days. And also there is the new like towns in Rome, which is like a giant quarry, which is only Air Force zoned. So that means you can only use Air Force units in this zone. But there is in the artwork 2 ramps that look like bottleneck choke points where maybe you can bring one or two ground units in at a time to go in there, but it looks like majority of it is going to be Air Force only to capture. Another unique thing about these zones is that each enemy unit has like a point system above its head. So maybe the more units you kill within that system, the more you are likely to capture it versus your opponent. So just keep that in mind. We're all spitballing here, but this is what we can gather from the video.
For everybody out there that didn't reach modern units or just reach the modern units, so you may have a 8 stars fighter, 8.1, 8.2. Now you will have a chance to play with a fully modernized unit only to upgrade it. So that will kind of give you a taste of the future of things to come with that map, which I think it's interesting. However, like Cairo, all those features, those upgrades, those the parts you augment, the units you augment, this will all be lost as soon as you come back or you return to your level 3 cities. So once again, it's a pay to win feature that it's definitely a pay to win feature since it's short-term upgrades and bonuses and buffs. But I mean, you have the possibility to purchase them, but keep in mind that you don't keep them when you return to your level 3.
Now, we're going to talk about what we were personally expecting from Rome and how what I was hoping for is completely different from Mags. So now we're going to get into what we were actually personally expecting and hoping for from Rome. And me and Mag's opinion on this is completely different, but we could both fairly say we're looking for the next L4 that we can crave to get into. Am I right?
Yes. So I'm gonna start with, well, as you know, friends, if y'all played Moscow before and you have you played San Francisco and you taste Cairo, you realize or you find out that the map is getting more and more restricted, meaning that in Moscow you can travel everywhere you can. There's no, of course, there's safe zones, but you can bypass those zones and you can reach the enemy at the extreme opposite of the map. Not the case with San Francisco, you're kind of limited, and Cairo, you are the most limited. So I hope that in Rome, you won't have this limitation. You will be able to travel freely. Of course, you need the safe zone so everybody have a chance to enjoy the city. But I certainly hope that the developer listened to us and would put less restriction on the map, so at least you can support your alliance if it's located the other way, at the complete opposite of the map. So that is I hope so. That's my expectation. We don't see in the video what's happening exactly or how the map is laid out precisely. Let's hope they learn from our comments.
My hopes for Rome were a horde mode where you would be progressing with your alliance and you're getting towards your POIs or points of interest, such as a town, arms factory, and all of a sudden waves of Raven would start to push by keeping you away from the objective once, twice, or maybe 3 times a day, and give a real new dynamic to the game and make it very interesting, focusing on the team play and the team elements there, and also giving you like a little bit of more interaction, because as everybody knows, Warpath is driven based off the arch nemesis of Raven, but we have very little interaction with them in these L4 events. We don't, it's literally like Raven are there just as a placeholder, and everything else is PvP, player versus player. And yeah, that's fine and dandy, but it gets kind of old when you're facing off over months and months and months of repetitiveness of just PvP against the same players with no new dynamics. And if you're a story-driven player like myself, this kind of gets a little dull after a long period of time.
Yeah, I agree. Like the Raven in this whole game is more like an afterthought than anything. At their best day, the Raven is during the Paratrooper, where you were struggling at the beginning. Now your base is so strong, your army is so powerful that you could almost leave an empty base and you'd be able to defeat the Raven, right? So
Right.
that is a good idea. More Raven or a better implementation of the Raven to add a new dimension to a map, because all the maps, they're kind of the same thing. I mean, the desert oil, the weather, they don't really change the dynamic of the game. It's still, you know, that you have to defeat the enemy, which is another alliance, and it pretty much ends there.
I was going to say, and the reality of it is that every alliance is actually supposed to be against Raven, not alliance against alliance,
Exactly.
based off the format.
Right. So the city belongs to the Raven, and you must fight them, but you're not really fighting them. You're just pushing them over and taking their stuff. So yep.
It actually be a, that actually would be a really good idea. You know, instead of PvP, right? Alliances working together to push out Raven.
Yep.
Make it very challenging, where Raven's like a tug of war with Raven, and whichever alliance contributes the most is the winner.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yeah, that could be a game changer. That could give a new that could be a breath of fresh air for this game. Like we keep doing the same over and over again. That would definitely bring a new dimension.
Exactly. So we're going to wind up calling the video here, my friends. So this is Fubar and Mag. We got your 6. We'll see you in the next one. But before we go, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also keep in mind, in the description below will be 44's Mag's channel, and also our 2 Discords, Fubar's Lounge and Warpath Lounge. So please, if you willing to associate with us on a one-on-one level, join the Discords. We'll happily talk to you at any time of the day when we are able to. We don't miss any messages or whatsoever. So let's say our goodbyes, Mag.
Thanks for the support, friends. I'll catch you in the next video.
Fubar out. Peace.